Welcome to AC55. My name is Barbara Ndiga, and today we're going to be speaking to Ralph here, who's been in AC55 all this time. So Ralph, tell us something.
Hello, Barbara. Nice to have you here with us today, and it's a pleasure to sit by your side. And I want to officially welcome you into the AC55 network. It's going to be a pleasure to always have a plus in the network. Yeah, we have covered quite a lot of events this period, this season. Several of them, actually. It's been quite a busy season.
Yes.
And this season has been marked by cultural events. It's been the recent International Women's Day and several other things that we covered that we shall see as we go through.
Tell us about, let's start with the main things that we started with. Like, give us an example of which cultural things that we're doing.
Yeah, there are lots of them, but the very first that could come to mind would be we had covered cultural cooking, the dish with the Zimbabwean community. It was quite an exciting event, and we did about 3 different dishes in the Zimbabwean way. That was quite interesting.
Very,
Yeah.
yes, it's true. Tell us about the Nigerian Women's Day that we got to also cover.
Yeah, actually there were several different African communities that organized that organized this International Women's Day event in Stockholm, in Sweden in general. But we could cover a few of them, and amongst those we covered that organized by the Nigerians, we covered those organized by the Cameroonians, and several invitees were in this event. The Nigerian way of celebrating it, was actually, they had some sort of a parade, a fashion parade, and there were lots of interesting African dresses that I could see.
Yes.
Very nice, young girls and boys parading with this nice African suits and other different dresses. I think it was very interesting. And they equally had some sort of speeches by different individuals, important personalities. I can remember the wife to the Nigerian ambassador to Sweden. She had an important speech to give. There was equally this lady from South Africa, Mrs. Margaret Garden. She equally had an interesting speech to make. There were several other individuals who intervened with important speeches.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
good.
And the Cameroonian way of celebrating the International Women's Day, it was they had an interesting panel discussion on breast cancer sensitization and stuff like that. They had several other topics to cover, but that was the main thing that I could remember at the moment. Breast cancer sensitization.
I think it's really good the way they in this events they get to talk about these big things that we have in the countries, and things like cancer, and it's everywhere. You see, it's not just Africa, or it's everywhere in the world. So
Yeah.
when they talk about it and bring the awareness, I think it's really very good.
I thought the cancer issue, it was a theme that really captured the day, because breast cancer, of course, it's usually women that are affected by this. And this was an important theme that could really capture the day. I think it was very, very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. So tell us about the Ghanaian Independence Day.
Well, the Ghanaian Independence Day, this is a day that is celebrated by different African countries. I mean, actually, I think all African countries, they have an Independence Day that they celebrate everywhere. And it's very normal then that the Ghanaians celebrate an Independence Day here in Sweden.
Yes.
So they celebrated this day, and it was marked by several different events. The main one I can remember was this discussion they had, which was of a kind of socio-political character, but there were several other issues that they covered.
They covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that they have that independence thing. It reminds you of where you came from and what happened for you to be getting where you are right now. It's
Yeah.
good, I think so. So another thing we got to cover was a new talk show, Viva Afrique.
Yeah, Viva Afrique, actually I should say it's an initiative which is the very first of its kind in the African diaspora in Sweden. This is the very first talk show that tries to celebrate African cultural talent. And it took place, the first show took place in Upplands Väsby in Stockholm. And we saw several talents.
Yes.
There were singers, there were dancers from Kenya. There was equally a boxer that had one or two things
To say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Interesting.
I also got to understand, get the feeling that they're covering basically all the talents that we have around. It's good to just show them off that we do have this talents and we can show them. You can see them, and that was really
Of course, those are
good.
things to be proud of.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, I
Show them
agree.
all, and, yeah, and I think without a show like this, there are lots of Africans scattered everywhere here in Sweden, in Stockholm. But without a show like this, they lack this kind of central stage where you can actually identify these
Yeah.
different talents.
Talents,
I
yeah.
didn't know these talents existed within
Exactly.
these communities
Yeah.
until during this show.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are several other talents that are
That
going
going to come up.
displayed.
Yeah, it's true. Like singers, boxers.
Boxers,
Yeah, so you never know next time what they're going to come up
You
with.
never
So
know.
yeah,
It's always
that's
interesting to
it's
watch.
yeah, it's very interesting. I think so. So then other thing we got to do was go around to the embassies for interviews.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about it.
This was quite, I should say, quite interesting. And I think it was a cool thing that we did within the network.
Yes.
I was very proud.
I think so.
To do this. So we had this initiative to go to several African diplomatic missions in Sweden. And their representatives, the likes of ambassadors, we decided to talk with them. And it was a period marked by about 50 years of independence that African states have had.
Yeah, it's
So,
amazing. It's like they all have kind of the same time. Like just came,
yeah.
you know,
Most of them, actually, they were celebrating about 50
50
years
years at least
several.
going to, yes.
Yeah. So it was time for us to sit back and take stock of what Africa has achieved, what they want to achieve in the future, and areas where we think or they think they are still lagging behind.
Yes.
So we tried to cover these areas. It was quite interesting. And we wanted to give the opportunity to the different ambassadors, the sort of experts, I should say,
Yes.
of African issues here in the diaspora. So we had this plan to give them the opportunity to explain to us firsthand what Africa has been going through. And we wanted them to be the ones to say...
To give the perspective, yeah.
The perspective.
Yeah.
And so we don't hear it from outsiders all the time.
Yes.
We wanted Africans to tell us about Africa.
Africa.
Yeah, Africa being told by
an African
Africans, yeah.
who works with it every day.
Every day, yeah.
So
It's kind of a daily routine for them. So we covered several topics. We covered, for instance, education. And within the field of education, we were interested in finding out issues like, for instance, why is it that Africa, for instance, today we can say education is a field where Africans can actually compare
Yes.
with other countries, other continents.
Continents,
Yeah,
yes.
because Africa has been doing quite good in
Very good,
education.
it's true.
But then we thought that in spite of this great achievement in education, there are still some issues lagging, like research and development. or even in spite of all the graduates that these
Still come
universities
up, yeah.
release every year in and out, we still don't see the impact of this into the society.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's not really reflected. So we wanted to get their opinion on this. And we equally talked about brain drain, which is quite a great issue.
Yes.
It's a tremendous problem within the
it's true.
African societies. You know, several Africans move to the Western world for education,
and they don't go back. And
they don't go back for one reason or the other. So we cover that. And then we equally talked about health issues, child mortality, several women dying during birth.
At this age, I know.
Yeah, HIV/AIDS and other issues that we try to cover. And we equally looked at bilateral cooperation, for instance. There is the presence today of the East. I mean, when I talk of East, I mean say China, say Japan, India. I mean, these are not all in the East, but these are countries that have come now today into the aid scene.
Yeah.
Before it was just Western countries pumping
it's
aid into
very true.
into Africa, but today you have these countries now. They are called the new economic giants today.
Yes.
So they have. I think the perspective of aid has changed. So
a lot.
We wanted to find out from these African experts how the scene has changed, and how they're adapting to it.
Yeah, how they work together. What's bringing out what's
because they are not leaving, they are not abandoning the Westerners who still keep giving them aid. But now they're accepting the other.
There's some different
other players.
Yes.
So the landscape, the aid landscape has changed.
Yeah.
We talked about those things. And we equally talked about other things like development and equality. With development, we were interested in finding out, for instance, the urban-rural kind of disparity. How is it, or why is it that the rural area is still kind of very less developed, whereas the urban area, I mean, you see this kind of disparity between the poor and the rich, women and men. Yeah, so we discussed all these things, and there were interesting responses we got
from the different ambassadors, I agree.
Yeah, and we equally talked about tourism, which are some of the opportunities that African societies can make foreign exchange through tourism. It's one important aspect. And finally, I think we talked about security, which security threats in the African society today. It's it's a global
big issue.
It's a global issue.
Yes,
actually, it started. The most tremendous one started in the U.S. and then it's been spreading out everywhere in the world.
Yes,
and of course, Africa is not left indifferent.
Of
Africa
course,
has been touched today. We hear of such threats around
everywhere.
So we were interested in finding out how
they're handling
it, what they
think,
what they are doing about this kind of security threat, and how if there was some kind of regional cooperation or collaboration between Africans to fight this canker worm. And I think Africa is doing great. From what I gathered from these experts, there are some sort of collaborations to actually drive this kind of security threat out of Africa. So in summary,
more like it.
These are the things
that you've discussed. Yes,
and they were very interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. It's good. It broadens your thinking. What's happening? What's going on in our countries? So
it was an opportunity. For instance, we always, when you hear of Africa, you think of impoverishment, you think of malnutrition,
all the time.
You think of all sorts of suffering.
Yes.
This is because the Africa that many people know about, that is the Africa that they see in the media. It is Western media. So this was an occasion to give an African the responsibility
Yeah.
of
Advertise.
telling the people what
Yes,
Africa really
is
is.
all
Yeah.
about. Yes.
But it's not all glorious, of
Yes,
course.
exactly.
What I gathered from them, it's not all
Yeah,
glorious.
it's not.
There are some setbacks, but I think they are doing their best.
The best they can. It's true.
To work these things out, and we see if
We
it's going
see
to work.
it's going to work.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so true. So basically, right now we're going to invite our viewers to actually get into the network and watch all these events. They're very exciting, and it's you get so much information from it about the different things that we've done. What do you think?
Yeah, we are really inviting them because it's lots of events we've covered, and soon enough we're going to have all these events on our website, www.ac55network.com. All these events will be put up for our viewers to watch. They are very interesting, different. Even though we interviewed 3 different ambassadors with same themes that we covered, but the responses were very
Different.
diverse.
Yes.
Yeah, given the diverse geographical location of these countries and the socio-political and economic conditions and situations. So the responses were diverse, even though the themes we covered were kind of common.
Yes.
So we invite our viewers to keep watching. They should visit the website frequently, and they will see all these things coming up.
Yeah.
And equally, we're inviting them to give their comments and feedback. And we think we want to organize a panel after we've put up this events. We want to organize a panel where we have people with some reactions to what these ambassadors, these experts have been saying. So we want reactions to that. So we're going to organize a kind of a panel discussion where people bring their reaction. It could be to support what the ambassadors have said, or they could have a contrary idea. So it's we are not here to promote just one idea.
We want to hear your opinions. Yes, we want to hear the difference. What you think? Yeah.
So we invite our viewers, watch it carefully and pay attention to what they say. And if you have a view, be it in support or contrary, we're going to have a panel discussion where we bring these things up and we'll thrash them.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ralph, for giving us all this information. And let's just hope to see more of what will happen. And we'll update you more about it. What do you think? Anything more to say?
No, I think, well, my memory is not so fresh, but I think I've mentioned several of the things we covered. And yeah, we still have so many things to cover. And we invite our viewers to always keep a constant watch on the website, because several new themes will be coming up. So especially now, it's going to be summer soon, so we should have we should have lots of opportunities to meet different individuals and come up with different themes. We should have lots of panel discussions. There's even football coming, you know.
Yes.
Football is coming up, so we should try to do something about football as well.
Very true.
So there are lots of interesting things coming up on the website. So viewers, keep watching.
Yes. So log on to www.ac55network.com and watch us again and see what comes up. My name is Barbara Ndega, and this is Ralph.
Ralph Tafon. It's always a pleasure. And nice to be with you here today, Barbara.
Yeah, it was so much fun listening to you announce and tell us all this information.
Thank you.
So, see you next time. Bye.